The flat Earth movement rests on two major claims: first, that the Earth is flat rather than spherical, and second, that governments, scientists, engineers, pilots, and others are engaged in a massive conspiracy to conceal the truth. Both claims collapse under careful examination, especially when considering the overwhelming scientific evidence and the extreme improbability of maintaining a conspiracy of such enormous scale. The scientific evidence for a spherical Earth. The spherical nature of the Earth is not based on modern speculation but on observations stretching back thousands of years. Today, the evidence is even stronger and comes from many independent sources. Satellite imagery shows the Earth as a sphere from space. Air travel routes follow curved paths consistent with a globe. Time zones exist because sunlight strikes different parts of a spherical Earth at different times. Ships disappearing hull first over the horizon demonstrate curvature. Gravity pulls matter toward the center of mass, naturally forming spherical bodies in space. None of these observations depends on trusting a single institution. They can be tested, repeated, and verified by individuals across the world. The improbability of a global conspiracy. The flat Earth hypothesis requires believing that a massive, coordinated deception has been successfully maintained for decades, or even centuries. This would involve not just governments, but millions of scientists, astronomers, engineers, satellite technicians, airline pilots, ship navigators, surveyors, military personnel, educators, private companies, amateur astronomers, space agencies from rival nations. These individuals come from countries that are often political enemies, such as the United States, Russia, China, India, and many others. It is highly implausible that nations with conflicting interests would cooperate flawlessly to maintain the same secret without exposure. Large conspiracies historically fail because the more people involved, the more likely someone leaks the truth. Even highly classified programs involving only a few thousand people, such as intelligence operations, have frequently been exposed. The flat Earth conspiracy would require millions of participants, making long-term secrecy virtually impossible. Independent verification across nations and organizations. Scientific knowledge about Earth's shape does not originate from a single authority. Universities, observatories, private companies, and amateur scientists around the world independently confirm the same findings. For example, amateur astronomers can observe Earth's curved shadow on the Moon during lunar eclipses. Commercial pilots use navigation systems based on spherical geometry. Engineers designing bridges, tunnels, and large infrastructure projects account for Earth's curvature. These activities are conducted globally by people who are not politically aligned and who often compete with one another. A conspiracy of this scale would require perfect cooperation among rivals, competitors, and adversaries, an unrealistic expectation. Economic and logistical impossibility. Maintaining a global deception would require enormous financial and logistical resources without any clear benefit. Questions arise. Who funds the conspiracy? What incentive motivates millions of participants to remain silent? Why would competing governments maintain the same falsehood without exploiting it to undermine rivals? No plausible answers exist. The cost of sustaining such a deception would vastly outweigh any conceivable gain. Psychological and sociological factors. Flat Earth beliefs often arise not from evidence, but from distrust of institutions or misunderstanding of scientific principles. Humans are naturally drawn to explanations that feel intuitive, even when they contradict measurable reality. Additionally, conspiracy thinking often grows from the assumption that powerful groups control information. However, scientific knowledge is decentralized and self-correcting, relying on peer review, replication, and open scrutiny. The principle of parsimony, Occam's razor. A fundamental principle of reasoning is that the simplest explanation consistent with the evidence is usually correct. Compare. Round Earth explanation: thousands of independent observations from different fields consistently support a spherical Earth. Flat Earth explanation: millions of people across history are secretly cooperating in a deception, while falsifying vast amounts of evidence. The round Earth explanation is far simpler and far more consistent with observable reality. Conclusion. The flat Earth movement fails both scientifically and logically. The observable evidence for a spherical Earth is overwhelming and independently verifiable. More importantly, the conspiracy required to sustain a flat Earth model would involve millions of people across nations and centuries, a scenario so improbable that it borders on impossible. The flat Earth claim provides neither the evidence nor a plausible explanation for how such a massive conspiracy could exist without collapse. There is more information in the description to this video.